they start killing off the people who are trying to help you, and then you're kind of on your own.
Yeah, Jamie has a good point. We wanted to get you right into the action, right into the game, so what really feels like a training, what feels like, oh, this is how you use the game, only really happens in that first part, but throughout the first mission, in fact throughout the entire game, there's always that stuff going on because there's so much stuff to do in Halo, because you can drive vehicles, because you can walk around stealthily, because you can use so many different weapons, so many human weapons, so many Covenant weapons, and there's so many different types of environments, so many different types of enemies that you're always constantly learning. So even at the end of the game, there's always new stuff going on.
So here we are in level 8. 2
Which means that any
Betrayals.
organism with sufficient mass and cognitive capability is a potential vector. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Splendid, shall we? Unfortunately, my usefulness to this particular endeavor has come to an end. Protocol does not allow units with my classification to perform a task as important as the reunification of the index with the coma. That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer. Hog, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Cortana,
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
hold on now. He's a friend.
Oh, I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the Flood, which is why we brought the index to the control center.
You mean this?
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off!
What impertinence! I shall purge you at once!
You sure that's a good idea?
How dare you? Oh!
Do what? I have the index. You can just float and sputter.
Enough! The Flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
Is it true?
More or less. Technically, this installation's pulse has a maximum effective radius of 25,000 light years. But once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. Or at least any life with sufficient biomass to sustain the Flood. But you already knew that. I mean, how could you?
Left out that little detail, did he?
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis.
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go right now.
Last time you asked me, if it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Get us out of here.
If you are unwilling to help, I will simply find another. Still, I must have the index. Give your construct to me, or I will be forced to take her from you.
That's not going to happen.
So be it. Save his head. Dispose of the rest.
Look out.
Alright. Now in the beta, this level actually started with the player holding an assault rifle, which is probably why Chief is holding one in the cutscene. But a lot of players in the beta struggled with the fight here against the first 4 Sentinels. because the other gun you're holding is a
Monitor activate
shotgun.
Halo. We have to stop him. We have
So they
to
gave you a
destroy
plasma
Halo.
pistol.
According to my analysis of the available data, I believe the best course of action is somewhat risky. An explosion of sufficient size will help destabilize the ring, and will cut through a number of primary systems. We need to trigger a detonation on a large scale, however. A starship's fusion reactors going critical will be I'm going to search what's left of the Covenant BattleNet and see if I can locate the Pillar of Autumn's crash site. If the ship's fusion reactors are still relatively intact, we can use them to destroy Halo.
I think it was confirmed in a developer commentary that Cortana was supposed to be British, and a majority of her script was written with the idea that she had a British accent. But specifically, one of the lines in that opening cutscene for this level, one of her British lines still hadn't been changed by the time Jen Taylor was brought in for recording.
Located the crash site yet, but we need to buy some time in case the Monitor or his Sentinels find a way to activate Halo's final weapon without the Index. The machinery in these canyons are Halo's primary firing mechanisms. They consist of 3 phase pulse generators that amplify Halo's signal and allow it to fire deep into space. The power levels are enormous. I can't even begin to calculate the pulse's range. So, if we damage or destroy these generators, the Monitor will need to repair them before Halo can be used. That should buy us some time. I'm marking the location of the nearest pulse generator with a nav point. We need to move in and neutralize the device.
If you needed further evidence that Bungie was struggling to meet deadlines, this level is basically just the 5th level, Assault on the Control Room, but backwards. Of course, gameplay-wise, it doesn't feel too much like it, since you now have the Sentinels to fight, and later, the Flood.
Wait, we should commandeer one of those Banshees. We'll need it to reach the pulse generator in time.
This area gave me a little bit of difficulty down here. Wraiths at a close range are extraordinarily dangerous, and even from far away they can score a random shot on you and one-hit you. So I did not want to die right away. I played this section pretty conservatively. Now, a lot of the dialogue in that opening cutscene is left a little vague. And it seems like 343 Guilty Spark is referring to some sort of previous event. This game, when it was originally written, was written to have very loose connections to the Marathon franchise. It was sort of seen as a successor both spiritually and in a way plot-wise, but later Halo games would add in more details that sort of dummied that out. It's telling me here how to fly the Banshee again. Just in case I hadn't taken the Banshee during the 5th level. In fact, you're basically replaying a level you've already done, but backwards is somewhat mitigated by these sections here where you're flying up to areas you couldn't previously access. Because these areas are where the pulse generators are hidden.
That's the pulse generator. The center core is the signal amplifier. That's what we need to shut down. We need to interrupt the pulse generator's energy stream. I've adjusted your shield system so that it will deliver an EMP burst to disrupt the generator, but you'll need to walk into the beam to trigger it. The EMP blast should neutralize the generator, but it will also drain your shields and leave you vulnerable until they recharge. Objective accomplished. The pulse generator has overloaded. Scanning. The generator's central core is offline. Well done.
The Sentinels didn't give me many problems there because I snuck past a few of them, but in a later area I think they give me some more trouble. They have very specific attack patterns, and they like to sort of rotate with each other so that they're not always taking the brunt of the damage you're sending out to them. Can make them a little more difficult to kill. And their laser beams do a lot of damage to you. This next section here, we get to see the Flood. And at this point in the game, we now have all 3, technically 4, major factions involved in the story. You, the player, of course, representing the UNSC, but then now also the Sentinels, who are based on Forerunner technology. The Flood, this sort of alien zombie infection. And of course the Covenant, who have been here from the start. The very cool thing about these following levels is that you get to see these factions fight each other. You can see that infection form going after the Grunt and then the Elite there. But at the same time, they have no issue turning to fight you instead. Once my shields are down, those infection forms become a lot more dangerous. I think if one latches onto you, it takes a whole bar of health away when your shields are down. It could be more than that on the higher difficulties. Being very careful here because I know in this next hallway there will be a Flood holding a rocket launcher. And like I mentioned last level, any combat form holding a rocket launcher is extraordinarily dangerous because they don't care if they take themselves out with you. There he is in the back there. I think I get him before he even has a chance to fire. See, some of them got back up. There's also a group that came in behind me here. Still wasn't sure I'd gotten him, this is just why I threw the grenade. But you can see that rocket launcher fly out. These last 3 levels are where your weapon choices matter much more because you need to make sure you are equipped to deal with all of the enemies. as you're seeing right now, this level likes to sort of fluidly send in all sorts of different enemies in quick succession. Making sure I'm covered in the back here because this next section is also very dangerous. I think there are 2 combat forms holding a rocket launcher along this bridge. One, the other is right there. There he goes. I got kind of lucky there because, as you may have noticed with my Magnum, I was not being very careful how I was watching my ammo. Fans in general did not like this level or the following one that much. The main complaint being that it is pretty much just reused from previous levels. The following level will reuse a lot of the rooms and interiors from the Truth and Reconciliation. Pretty tough spot to be in with a Banshee flying overhead and with me not really having any way to fight against it. Thankfully, I do know of a little area down here where I can get some more ammo. This level being as long as it is, I decided instead of sticking around to kill everything, it'd be better to just speed past it. There's no real reason not to. This whole area here is actually still present when you come through here the first time in Assault on the Control Room, but you obviously just have no natural way to access it. I do think it's possible to fly up here by getting a Banshee some other way, or forcing the elite to fall out of it. I'm not sure how it's done, but I do think if you fly up here, there's nothing really here. It just sort of looks blank for that level. Very careful about flying down there because I know there are grunts holding fuel rod cannons, which are essentially the Covenant equivalent for rocket launchers. I wanted to make sure I didn't get too close and get blown up because of it. And this here is what I would consider to be one of the hardest areas in the game. You've got Flood and Sentinels fighting each other. You have to have your shields taken down. And then right behind you here, you get a whole bunch of Flood that come in. All this stuff trying to kill you already behind you. I was very happy to get through there with minimal resistance.
I've located the Pillar of Autumn. She put down 1,200 kilometers upspin. Energy readings show her fusion reactors are still powered up. That tunnel leads to the next section of canyon. The final pulse generator we need to destroy is through there.
Even though I don't really have to kill this Wraith here, I thought it would still be cool to just show people what it looks like to fight a Wraith from a Banshee's perspective. Make no mistake, the Wraith can hit me. I have been hit in midair before. Cutting it very close right there. Really no need for me to get that close to the Wraith, but just being very aggressive when I didn't need to be. Now that he's blown up, I figured I might as well move forward. This section here is also a little dangerous because right at the end of this corner, you'll see some rocket Flood walk around and try to shoot at me. I got fairly lucky there, and they didn't hit me. And this is something I wish they would have showcased more throughout this level, just with the Flood being in it. That door being clearly worn down and inoperational. It's something we'll see a lot more in the next level, and I wish it had been explored more in this one to make it more dynamic, to showcase more of what the Flood kind of do to the environments they get out to. Just checking for ammo there because this next section of the level is fairly open. You want to make sure you've got a lot of ammo to deal with the enemies that are going to be up ahead. Still just a great effect there, the snow coming in. That sort of brisk air sound you can hear in the background. I was very shocked that that Banshee came as low as it did. I was not expecting it to immediately try to run me over. Could just let him fight the Flood up ahead, but I wanted to take him out of the equation as soon as possible. Didn't really want to risk being run over at this stage. I really wish I wouldn't have shot that guy. Once the Flood have no arms, because they can be dismembered like that, they really aren't capable of doing anything to you. I do wish I had used the Ghost in combat a little more. But it's also not the best vehicle for combat. And there's a big area here that's got a lot of different enemies in it. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to drive straight for the Banshees that will get me out of here. I almost don't make it out. This is probably the closest call I had throughout my entire playthrough. Of course, that's the bridge we came in on at the start of Assault on the Control Room. Going to be a group of sentinels that come out of this door here on this platform I'm supposed to land at. I wanted to get there before they did, because I did not want to risk being killed the second one of their beams touched me. There's going to be one last group of sentinels in here, and you'll notice this group They have shields. And I don't have a plasma pistol with me. It's going to make taking them out fairly difficult. See, once one of them gets low, they like to back away and let one of their buddies take their spot. I am out of magnum ammo now, so I have to rely on all of the shots I have left with the shotgun.
Final target neutralized. Let's get out of here.
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll take too long.
You have a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging your shields. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Do it.